To start with, these the veggies I'll be using and the meats I'll be using. So I use the yellow pepper, the green pepper, and onion. If you can get the white onion, that would be nice, but I couldn't reach the white onion, so I used the normal onion and it still came out nice. So here I'm slicing the meat, and this meat is already cooked. Okay, I'm slicing it to the shape that I think is okay. So feel free to slice to the any shape that you want. So at this point, I tried using this to, to cut it, but at some point it was, would I say, it was wasting my time and it wasn't really, coming out nice. So I had to go back using my hands because my hands were already washed. Okay. So I went back slicing it, and this is the shape I like. So feel free to do it to the, any shape that you want. Okay. So after doing this, we're going to be heading over to the next stage. So the next, I started slicing the veggies. Started with the yellow pepper. So you guys know that this yellow pepper doesn't have seed. So there was no need of, removing any seed from it. So here I am slicing it to the shape that I want. So guys, have you ever tasted this yellow pepper? It's very sweet. Very, very, I mean, eating it raw is very, very sweet. So if you have not tried that, you can try it out, and it is also healthy. Okay, so this is the second part, the second half that I'm slicing right now. Though I'm not going to use everything, I'm going to use half of the veggies, and then I'm going to use the remaining half to do something else. So this is the green pepper, and I'm going to remove the inside. So at this point, I added some scotch bonnet pepper because I wanted it to be a little bit spicy. So I had to slice it with my hands, which I do not like doing, honestly. But I know a lot of people they don't mind slicing their pepper. But I don't like it at all because of the hotness. But I had to because I wanted it to be a little bit spicy, and after doing that I had to wash my hand with salt and water. So right now I'm slicing the green pepper. So after slicing, I'm going to mix everything together. Just watch and see what I'm doing. So guys, like I said, if you have white onion, that will be the best. So cause that's what they normally use to do this. But I don't have access to the white onion, so I had to use the purple onion, and it still came out nice. Okay, so just watch and see what I'm doing. And this is the mozzarella cheese. Please note that there are different kinds of cheese in the supermarket. This is where you're going to get it. In my area, it's not in the market. So, I mean, it's not in the local markets. I couldn't see it in the local market. So, I went to supermarket to get that. And these are the spices that I used. So, this is seasoning cube, salt, dried ginger and garlic, thyme, and curry. Then I omitted dark soy sauce. I'm going to show you the picture right now. Okay, so I used that also. And we are going to head over to the next stage, which is, frying our veggies. So right now I added my oil, and I'm going to be adding some onions to it. So then I'm going to be adding the veggies. This is the green pepper, and I'm going to be adding the yellow pepper, and I'm just going to be adding the whole of the veggies to it, and I'm going to stir it together. So I'm going to start adding I added salt and seasoning cubes. Let's go ahead and add the spices to it. So after adding the spices, I stirred it together. after adding the spices, I stirred it together, and then I introduced my meat, my dyed meat. And I'm going to mix everything. Feel free to add more meat if you want it to be that meaty. Okay, so you add more meat to it. So right now I'm stirring it, and after that, the next thing I'm going to be adding, at this point, remember to add the dark soy sauce. Okay, the next thing I'm going to be adding is my cheese. Remember, mozzarella cheese. There are different kinds of cheese in the supermarket. Okay, so but what you're supposed to use that will make it stick is the mozzarella cheese. So you can go ahead and cut yours into pieces, or you just drop it this way. Then the next thing I did was to lower my heat, so that it won't get burnt. So at some point I even offed it and covered it so that the cheese will melt. So like I said, I'm doing this so that it will not get burnt. If you are still using the same heat that you're using to fry it, it might get burnt because you're not adding water and you don't want to add so much oil to it. Okay, so what I did was just to, what you're going to do is either you lower it or you off it and allow it to melt a little. At some point you can also put it on again and lower the heat till it melts. So this is what I did, and here it has already melted. As you can see, it is sticking together right now. Okay, so after that, we're going to allow it to cool down because it's ready already. Oh God, what did I say? Yeah, I don't know. Because it's ready. So the next stage is to prepare my shawarma cream, right? Or my shawarma sauce. So what I added here is ketchup, mayonnaise, and condensed milk. So I didn't add black pepper and soya spice for some personal reasons. I'm going to be listing the things that you need for this shawarma cream. So you mix everything together and make sure that everything is combined, right? So guys, this is it, and I'm going to mix everything together. I'll continue mixing till it is well combined. After doing this, we're going to head over to the next stage. So at this point, I think it's ready, and we're going to head over to the next stage. So as you can see, this is the sauce and this is the bread I'm going to be using for this, and this is the mozzarella cheese that I sliced. Please slice yours to be tiny. Okay, you can even grate it if you can. So right now I'm applying the shawarma sauce. Now somebody might be asking, why didn't I toast the bread, using that frying pan method before applying this? I did that because I want to show you this method of achieving that line without the sandwich machine or the sandwich toaster, or just in case like I don't have that kind of design for the sandwich toaster. My toaster doesn't have that kind of design, so I have a different type of design. But now what is running right now is that kind of design. So I wanted to show you how you can achieve it, so that's why I did not toast the bread first before applying this. Okay, so right now I'm going to be adding my veggies to it after applying the shawarma cream. I'm going to be adding the veggies and the mozzarella cheese. Please cut yours into pieces. If you're adding the mozzarella cheese, cut it into tiny pieces. Don't cut it big this way. Okay, it will come out more nice if you cut it in a smaller sizes than just dropping it this way. Considering the fact that I used oven to make mine, I'm repeating it again. Please cut your mozzarella cheese into smaller pieces so that it won't go one side. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is to apply margarine or butter on my baking pan, because that's what I'm going to be using to do this. So I'm just, I just brought the bread together and then just watch and see what I'm doing. So at this point I used cooling rag to do this, okay, to achieve that line. So this is not something that you want to continue doing, because if you do so, it's going to change the color of your cooling rag. Okay, so you can just do it once and use it for your adverts, and then go ahead to toast it and be selling it. So you see how I did that. I just added the placed the cooling rag on it, and then I flipped it, and this is exactly how I'm going to put it inside the oven. Okay, so that is what I'm going to be doing. So right now I applied some margarine on top of the bread. Okay, so after applying that, I'm going to be placing the rag on it. So if you're using, you can use frying pan to do this. That's if you have a smaller cooling rag, that small type here. So you can place it on it and then put it on your frying. That is if your frying pan is flat, though, that it can contain. So that's why I used the oven. This is my oven right here, and this is how I placed it. You can see that. So the cooling rag is under, and then the I used what do you call this, that is always on gas cooker. Okay, so I placed it on top of it so that it will press it down a little, and this is the end result. So the end result of it. Okay, so you can see that. If you see it now, you'll be like, I used that sandwich maker to make it. No, I didn't use it. Or you cannot continue to be doing this, so though you didn't so except maybe you want to sacrifice that to your cooling rag, you just want to buy it for it, and it's even way less expensive than when you're buying the sandwich maker, because that's a little bit expensive though if you're buying the main one. So but then I'm not going to be using that always, because it will change the color of that cooling rag, like I said, except you just want to buy it and be using it for that. Okay, so guys, this is the end results. Now this is the reason I was telling you to cut your cheese into tiny places so that it can go round, because if it doesn't go round, it's not going to, some part is going to be sticky and some part is not going to be sticky. Okay, so is you get better results when you cut it into small places, and then you just spray it all around, making sure that every part has that cheese. So guys, you have come to the end of the video, and I hope you learned something. Bye bye.